And hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. In this update, we're going to talk about some very cold weather that is going to grip the entire nation, the lower 48 anyways, with the exception of just a small area. It's going to shift the storm track south. We're going to talk about how it impacts as it first blasts into the northern plains tonight and into tomorrow, with near blizzard conditions possible for some portions of the Dakotas and northern Minnesota. It all begins right now on Hutch's Weather.
Now, a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, we're going to start with just a little bit of fun. First and foremost, again, thanks for watching me. If you have a comment, let me know where you're watching from. It's a pleasure to have you on board. And again, we have some big time cold that'll be working its way in as we enjoy some really anomalously warm weather across basically the high plains just off to the east of the Rocky Mountains, heading through and into our late week. But this is going to change very rapidly tomorrow as this ridge right here breaks down, and we're going to see the colors that you see here are temperatures of either above normal or below normal. So we're above average across much of eastern Montana and out towards Calgary and Regina. Now let's set this puppy into motion and show you what I expect to take place here as we go through, and what the models are looking like here as we work our way into the future. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put this into motion. A couple things you're going to see with regard to our temperatures as we go through Friday. Here it comes. But this isn't the coldest of it yet. So the warmer weather as we work our way into the day on your Friday morning. This is about noon Central Time here. We'll have warm up in the Great Lakes region. So from the mitten of Michigan right through portions of the Mississippi River Valley and the Missouri River Valley. Still nice, but here comes the cold and it takes hold. Really a double cold front making its way through with a chance for some snow squalls. Blizzard-like conditions will be possible as this low pressure system will come with an inordinate amount of wind. Gusts over 50 miles per hour will be possible across portions of North Dakota as well as northern Minnesota. Now, here comes the real cold stuff here with well below average temperatures. And watch what happens here. Here comes the Arctic air mass as we go into Saturday. This is sub-zero air. That sub-zero air will be making its way down with the freezing air all the way down south in Texas. And it takes over as we go into Sunday. Now, just so you know, Sunday in the morning for the northern plains, with the amount of wind that we see here, upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour, sub-zero temperatures of around 10 to 30 degrees below zero will produce wind chills between 30 and 55 degrees below zero, both Sunday morning and again on Monday morning. As you see, our isobars stay pretty tight together. So an Arctic blob of nonsense pushes all the way down into the deep south. This is Kentucky, folks, and it's pushing all the way down into Florida, northern portions of Georgia, and these are bitter cold temperatures that'll be working their way down, some of the coldest we've seen in years. How long does it stick around? It works its way through, and I do want to point out as we go into the peak of this cold snap, almost the entire nation, with the exception of the Southwest, will see the impacts of this cold, nasty air mass. Now, as we continue it through, it makes its way off, giving us just a little bit of a breather is all. When does that breather come? Well, for most of us, we're talking about Wednesday of next week. And then we close out the month of February with another snot shot here of the nasty cold air. But then downsloping winds off the Rocky Mountains will cause some warming to take place in the high plains of the Rocky Mountains, and that's the way things look. Now, as we take a look at that cold shift, one thing it's going to do is that bitter cold air mass dives south. We're going to see a big time shift in the storm track. So for that, let's take a look real quickly at the European model for this, and we'll go ahead and open this bad boy up and show you what this thing is showing as we go through. Now, up north, with the cold, dense air in place, what it does, it's very cold, it's very dry, we don't get a lot of systems here, and most of the weather will ride the edge of this cold air dome, and the warmer weather that is in the Gulf Coast. Now, so as we go through, we'll have this little weather wiggle working its way through the northern plains, going through tonight and into the day tomorrow. Here comes the cold air diving south. Here is one low pressure system developing out in portions of Oklahoma. This will cause showers of rain, mixed precipitation, zipping very quickly as we go into noon on Saturday to about 1 in the afternoon on Saturday along the East Coast. Then another low pressure system down here. Do you see how all these storms are starting here in the southern United States? This high pressure dome keeping things very quiet across the Central Plains and the Rocky Mountain states. Even out west, a nice quiet break from the stormy weather there. Now, here comes a more potent system as we go into Tuesday of next week. The cold air mass riding into Colorado and the deep south into Oklahoma here. And as that happens, it's going to interact with this Gulf air. And here comes a very wintry system. Do you see this pink here? A chance for snow and even some ice in southern Georgia and maybe even northern parts of Florida into South Carolina as that system works its way through. The timeline on this Tuesday of next week into Wednesday morning, and it's off the shore. So that's another system. This one a little bit more impactful as we go through. This is a long ways out, but that storm track shifts south. So what that means is in the northern plains, not a significant chance of any real snowfall potential here over the next few days. It looks very quiet in the Rocky Mountain West, which has not been the case for much of the summer as this Arctic air sets up shop right here in the Central Plains for the better part of the next 6 to 7 days, with the storm track being most likely along the Gulf Coast states and moving into the mid-Atlantic states as we go through the next week or maybe two. So now if you do have a question, let me know. I'm going to take a look at my channels here. Thanks again for watching from Ellendale. It's good to have you on from South Central North Dakota. Thank you so much. Otter Tail County, beautiful lakes country, Minnesota, building some ice for the good old ice fishing going on out there. It's been a better year for that. Vining, good to have you on board as well. And now as I take a look at the channel here on YouTube, if you are watching on Facebook, it really helps Hutch if you hit that follow button. The more people that do follow, the more people that Facebook shares my videos to, and that helps me out a great deal. Now let's take a look at what we have going on with regards to our other channel, and thanks a lot to everyone who's watching. Drop me a comment if you have a question, let me know, but some really ridiculous temperatures are heading down to the deep south. So now, just to give you a magnitude of the temperatures, since that's the main story, and any significant precipitation minus some rain and thunder here in the next 2 days, really going to hold off for the better part of the next few days. So let's look at this temperature forecast here as we put up the European model one more time, and then we'll go ahead and show you a look at the temperatures so you can see just how far south these temperatures dive. Now the coldest of the air will begin arriving here in the northern plains as we go into Saturday night and Sunday morning. Then we'll have some wind chills again, as mentioned, 30 to 45 and 50 below. Look at the blue line. That's the freezing line here as you go through Sunday afternoon, and then boom, look at that, all the way into the Gulf of Mexico, folks. So this cold air mass on Monday morning will ride all the way along the shores of Texas, freezing temperatures all the way through the panhandle of Florida. And that includes Biloxi, Mississippi. We're talking all the way up into the Carolinas here for that cold air. Now the sub-zero air, as you see here, here's single digits, the skinny ones, the single digits. And then there's below zero air as we go through. So it's going to be cold and continue to be cold with, well, even cool weather out in portions of Nevada. We will start to see a nice moderation of the air mass as we go a little bit later in the forecast period here. But again, that cold, very cold dome of air will set up shop across the nation. All right, let's talk weather in the northern plains, shall we? Let's zoom in to the area here, broadcasting here from the Fargo-Moorhead area. Let's take a look now at what's going on with this storm. As we go through, there's going to be a big deal here with regards to what kind of snow that you have outside. Now, if you look in the yard and you've had a lot of melting and you've got some wet, heavy snow, that's going to freeze on top, and it's going to really kind of lock up any blowing snow from what's already here. We are going to have new snowfall, as you can see here, beginning in the forecast model. That new snowfall is going to blow around, and it looks like it could be significant enough to cause some conditions to be blizzard-like and snow squalls with the leading edge of a cold front. Now, we've heard this snow squall term here in the northern plains, but it's only just recently been utilized where other parts of the country have heard this before. Think of a snow squall as a line of thunderstorms, only we're in winter. So when a cold front moves through, we might get a sharp line of active thunderstorm weather that lasts only a little while. And that thunderstorm moves off along with that cold front, and it's out of here. So it can be blizzard-like. It can be treacherous. In fact, drop visibility to below a quarter of a mile, just like a blizzard may. Blizzards, by definition, have to last at least 3 hours, but a snow squall could last just a few minutes. But those few minutes can cause multiple cars to pile up and crash. So There could be very, very tricky and rapidly changing conditions across the area as we go through your day tomorrow. Now, that's Friday here in the Northern Plains. Let's go ahead and take a look at this particular model to time things out here, and boom, there we go. Okay, so as we go into the morning hours, there's a warm front moving through here, and you notice that the winds are from the south. That's going to keep us warm, and in fact, Fargo, the southern part of North Dakota, and much of South Dakota will see steady to slowly warming temperatures again overnight. Then as we head towards your daybreak, here's what happens. Cold front, the leading edge is already down here. So we're seeing a shift in wind to westerly. That's the leading edge of the cold front number 1. Here's the Arctic air mass getting ready to push down its way up here. As that happens, it's going to kick off some flakes of flaky stuff. The snow showers will be pushing through. This is about 7 a.m. So there'll be a chance for a very sharp leading edge here of snow squall activity along that cold front. Look at the isobars here. Now, these that are this close together are some really driving winds. So you can glance across this, and where the isobars are the closest is where we have the strongest winds along the international border, all of North Dakota. A little bit more relaxed, we call these isobars in Minnesota. Now, as we go through the time period, the snow squall and the snow chance for fresh new snow, mainly from Brandon, Manitoba into Winnipeg and all the way up into areas north. Well, here's Lake of the Woods and northern Minnesota seeing a shot of some snow. The amount of accumulation here is not going to be impressive, but look at this. I mean, if these isobars get any closer, we'll have to call them a room or tell them to get a room, because that's pretty close, and that means very strong winds. So we'll have some gusts upwards of, or maybe even exceeding 50 miles per hour. I think the Red River Valley will see some strong winds rocking right through places like Pembina, Grand Forks, and Fargo, all the way down toward the Sisseton Hills. We will see some western Minnesota ripping winds, but as we get into the trees of northern Minnesota, that should help alleviate the magnitude of some of the gusts, but that's where the snow will be, and it'll be horizontal in places. So there's the possibility of some blizzard conditions in a few of these counties up north. Zero visibility, whiteouts. And as that first wave of the cold front moves through first thing in the morning here, from about 5 in the morning all the way into about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, moving through the Central Valley, here's Grand Forks, moving south into Mayville, North Dakota, and Crookston, Minnesota, and then down toward the South Dakota border, that leading edge there could bring the best chance for those snow squalls that we talk about. Behind it, persistent north winds, blowing conditions all the way into Saturday morning, with the coldest of the air, temperatures falling all day through Saturday. Let's see if we have any questions here while we button up the forecast and talk about the bottom line and the numbers here on Hutch's Weather. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting the follow button and subscribe on YouTube. Now let's take a look at your basics in the forecast. All right, let's start out to the west. Temperatures as we go into your morning hours are going to be coldest up here where we got the chilly fella at southwest winds out ahead of the front. Do you see this warmer area here? That's along the original cold front, or cold front number 1. And what's going on there is called prefrontal warming. Just before the front gets there, you warm up. So by morning, Fargo's right in the midst of that. We rise and shine at 7 a.m. We'll be warmer than we are right now here across the Southern Valley. And we will have a shot of that snow most likely up to the north. Now let's look into Minnesota. Minnesota, all the way from the Twin Cities, where we're going to expect temperatures to be near 30 degrees. And as we go up into Bemidji and the Lakes Country area, we're going to see 31 at the headwaters of the Mississippi River. And up by Lake of the Woods, 32 degrees. So still mighty warm with snowflakes flying and the wind blowing. It's going to be tough sledding into work first thing in the morning. You can check the latest road reports on hutchesweather.com anytime for any state or province in our area. So please visit the site and know before you go. Now, as the wind picks up throughout the day, it'll change direction. It'll be westerly and then northerly as we go into the afternoon. That's going to cause the cold air to start diving in. You'll be in the teens across most of northern Minnesota, single digits across northern North Dakota, but at least above zero. But the wind chills will not be above zero. With 21 to 55 miles per hour winds. Some of the strongest winds will be in the typical locations. I'm thinking James River Valley, Red River Valley, and off into the Red River Valley counties of Minnesota and much of northern Minnesota. We saw those isobars getting way too close. That's where we're going to have the best chance at seeing some 40 to 55 mile per hour gusts out there. And again, the Sisseton Hills tend to funnel quite a few of those gusts as well. The cold really takes hold as we go into your Sunday morning. And it's not going to be fun all day Saturday, but look at these wind chills. Sunday morning, heading off to church with wind chills between 30 and 45 degrees below. Where you see this bluish hue up here, this light sky blue, that's where the coldest of the wind chills will be. That's along Highway 2 and north, where we could get close to 45 or 50 degrees below zero for wind chill values. And we're talking 55 below potential in that same area, along and north of Highway 2 in North Dakota, even down into the James River Valley, where we'll be funneling some more of the wind, higher wind speeds. Folks, we're talking actual air temperatures in this nonsense to be between 20 and 30 below, and that's going to really, really leave a mark. So make sure you have a survival kit in your vehicle. Friday, stay informed about things because travel conditions are going to change rapidly. I will never tell you just don't go, but if we get blizzard warnings, just don't go. Watch the road reports for road closures, cancellations, or at least difficult travel areas, and change your route. And make sure that you have a survival kit. 31 in the morning, falling all day to 19, falling all night to 2 above, falling all steady to falling all day on Saturday, with wind chills here that will be 35 degrees below as we start Saturday and head into the Saturday afternoon hours, and hitting 45 below zero as we go into Sunday. Actual air temperatures for Fargo, 14 below on Sunday, 20 below will be that temperature when you open that door on your Monday. Then heading into the remainder of the week, we get a little bit of a warm up on Tuesday, but it doesn't last long. It's a little fooling situation once again with temperatures diving down. All right, we're going to pull up the current conditions right now. And in the meantime, as I'm looking through, I'll scan the map here for you while I'm go ahead and update and look at a couple of your questions to see what we've got here. Thanks to all of you, by the way, who have shared photos with Hutch at Hutch's Weather. Let's see what we got here. Sorry about the pause while I gather information. Okay, here we go. Okay, everybody's looking pretty good here at, wow, Alexandria, Virginia. Thank you, Nathan, for watching. I hope you're enjoying yourself out there on the other side of the nation. Thanks for watching. Joan, good to see you from Bemidji. Thanks for watching. And Vining, Bruce. And Tom, good to have you on as well, as always. Chad says, good evening, heading to go fishing around Detroit Lakes tomorrow. How's the weather looking for that area? It's going to be very windy, and that leading edge of the cold front will be moving through about early morning to mid-morning at the latest. So there could be a chance for certainly some of those snow squall, or at least lofted snow in the area. I'm not sure what your snow piles look like, but I can tell you here in Moorhead, Minnesota, the snow in my yard, I can pick it up and it's still fluffy. And if it doesn't crust over, which it shouldn't because it just was fluffy out there already, it's going to blow. So there's going to be some blowing snow. Stock show time. Bruce, I'll tell you what, we know how to pick those dates. It almost feels like it should be basketball tournament time here, right? Am I wrong about that? Rita, thanks for watching in Bemidji. Roads, well, how will they be in Fargo in the morning? Serena, the best I can tell you is right now we're okay. The temperatures will be rising, so we'll have the wet streets, but it will not take long for wet streets to flash freeze, as we'll see temperatures diving throughout the day into those freezing conditions. And in fact, look at Fargo, look at Grand Forks now, 923, and we have temperatures that are climbing over what we saw throughout the day, a high of 28 in the afternoon. Now we're up to 30, 34, Jamestown, 37 as you look into Wells County for you folks in Harvey, 36 for Dickinson, and the oil patch up near Williston, seeing temperatures close to 40 degrees. Rapid City, pretty fair as well. And Mobridge, South Dakota, and Pierre at 30 degrees as well. All right, let's see if we have a couple other questions. So slippery roads, but we got to watch for visibility changes as that secondary cold front moves in. That thing will bring the possibility for some lofted snow. And where the impacts will be the greatest depend on what the snowpack looks like in your backyard and my backyard. And then once it gets lofted, let's say we get some snow lofted from the Great White North up there where things didn't get locked down by some melted snow on top and crusting going on, we call it. Well, if there's no crust, then it's going to blow. And if it starts blowing from the north, that snow can get lofted all the way down here into the Southern Valley, causing areas and bands of ridiculousness for travelers. You bet, Kim. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the kind words. Thanks for watching, Janine as well. How will the roads be Saturday morning towards Bismarck? We're on the way there. Well, it depends on where you're traveling from, but Bismarck is not going to see a very good chance of new snowfall accumulation. There could be a brief moment of that. It's going to be windy, and it is going to start turning colder there. And again, we have had terrible road conditions over the last 2 days, even with the warm up, temperatures near 40 degrees. But with the winds that we had crossing Highway 83 between north of Minot, near the Minot Air Force Base in Bismarck, we had no travel advisories. I guess from around Washburn, Cole Harbor area there near Lake Sakakawea, all the way north toward the Minot Air Force Base. So again, our roads will be icy. So stay off the cruise control. And again, a apt and capable survival kit is a must. I love going into the convenience store and picking up those $1 hand warmer kits and just loading the trunk with a bunch of those, because if you get stranded in your car, you could be there for quite some time. UND hockey parking lot is going to be a doozy. It's Friday night, and there's going to be a blue line somewhere. All right, let's talk about that. All right, I will be checking in on the score, pun intended. All right, let's see some top shelf entertainment from Hutch. Laura says heading to Fargo from Perham around 1 to 2. Just tuned in. It's going to be gusty. There's going to not be a lot of new snow in Fargo, but there could be areas of blowing snow. You get out of town, especially in open country, that's where those problems tend to be the worst. Thanks again for watching. And that looks like that's it. Marlis from War Road, good to have you on board as well. So that covers it. The 7-day planner, we'll put that up one more time, but essentially we're on our way down. The coldest of the year begins punching in from the international border counties on Saturday morning, and by the time we get to Saturday night, this is a mid-afternoon temperature on Saturday, 2 below. We'll already be 8 below by the Saturday evening time frame with wind chills 35 below. And if you don't have to go out, keep that front door closed and invite all the dogs inside if you can. Make sure you take care of your furry friends like Pedro, the prognosticator, and Leo, the lion, who is also the, well, he's the feline forecaster. He helps me out. I got my animals inside where it's warm, and they get plenty of spoilage too. A little bit of treats for them. So take care of them. We're going to have some nasty weather as we go through the weekend into early next week, and then a little bit of a moderation, even if briefly. Thanks for watching. Again, know before you go first thing in the morning with these weird road conditions that'll be happening in areas here and there because of the winds, and the forecast is highly dependent on the snowpack in your backyard. So thanks so much for watching. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Facebook. You know, that really helps Hutch out. And also subscribe on YouTube. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I want you to have a wonderful night. Thank you very much for watching. Check back for updates on your Friday. I'll keep you up to date with the very latest right here on Hutch's